Want to call the Physical Service Committee to order. Approve the minutes of March 16th, 2015 committee meeting.
Councillor Enright.
Here.
Councillor Walker. Councillor Barlow.
Here.
Councillor McLaughlin.
Here. Yes.
Approved minutes of March 16th, 2015 committee meeting.
Councillor Enright.
Yes.
Councillor Walker.
Yes.
Councillor Barlow.
Yes.
Councillor McLaughlin.
Yes.
Under old business, I see no old business. Under new business, authorization, number 1. Common Council received correspondence from the Oswego Cub Scout Pack 888 requesting the use of Burkle Street parking lot across from Bishop Commons and Little Luke's entrance for Tuesday, May 5th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. The request is for the delivery of Oliver Payne greenhouse hanging plants for our Cub Scout unit. Jackie Kristen, Club Master, will attend the meeting to answer any questions. Jackie, are you here? No, Jackie. Any questions?
Eric? They do this every year. They've always done a great job cleaning up after themselves. It's no problem. So we get an annual thing. I'd support it.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Councillor Enright.
Yes.
Councillor Walker.
Yes.
Councillor Barlow.
Yes.
Councillor McLaughlin.
Yes.
Item number 2, the engineer's office received a request for use of public space submitted by Martha Lyon, representative of Trinity United Methodist Church, in order to place 4 2x3 A-frame signs advertising upcoming events in public space. Is anyone here to speak of that? Martha, are you here? Any questions?
It's only going to be 4, right?
4 signs. But there are several events. The events are. Eric?
They've done this for several years. They just recently started coming to get approval for public space, so I wanted to thank them for their cooperation. And also, I just wanted to make note that the Oswego Bloom project was hoping that they could move their location off of the East 10th Street island. They do their work from, and they moved them up to East 12th Street on State Route 104 at the island there, so I thank them for their cooperation.
I'll move it. Second.
Councillor Enright.
Yes.
Councillor Walker.
Yes.
Councillor Barlow.
Yes.
Councillor McLaughlin.
Yes.
See, we have a few add-ons here.
Which ones?
Let's see here. Trinity Catholic School. We got request from Barbara Sugar, principal of Trinity Catholic School, for use of public space to place 2 A-frame signs at the corner of East 4th and Bridge Streets and East 12th and Bridge Streets, advertising their upcoming Children's Carnival and Chicken Barbecue to be held Saturday, April 18th, 2015. Barbara, anything to say about this?
No, this is a standard request. The signs will only be out for 5 days once
I'll move it. Second.
Councillor Enright.
Yes.
Councillor Walker.
Yes.
Councillor Barlow.
Yes.
Councillor McLaughlin.
Yes.
Okay, we have another add-on here. It says there's a request from Laura Shaver to erect a 20-foot by 10-foot or 30 by 10-foot tent near Brightback Park Pavilion, along with permission to set up a trellis or decorating the bell tower, if possible, for her wedding ceremony and reception on Saturday, May 23rd, 2015, from 2 p.m. until 9 p.m. In addition, she would like to rent a dance floor or use the basketball court. Commissioner?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, have you checked the dates on this to confirm?
Yeah,
that?
we've already, she's already reserved the pavilion for the 23rd, and we are aware that the wedding will be held at the Bell on that day also. If you want to give her use of the basketball court, then we can make sure that that's available to her also.
Any questions? Councilors?
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
And we need a resolution?
Thank you. Here's another request from Margaret Felice to purchase a park bench to be placed in Brightbeck Park in honor of the Oswego High School class of 1948.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, as you know, we always like to have those benches. So we have another place, so when we'll get with the class of 48 and make some arrangements and put it where they like it and where it'll be another nice addition to our park.
Make a motion.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
And we need a resolution?
Yes.
Here's another request from Edward Motica to purchase a bench in memory of her daughter, Crystal Motica, to be placed in Brightbeck Park.
Again, Mr. Chairman, we can certainly find a place where the Matika family would like to have that placed in Brightbeck.
Any questions? Yes.
I think the benches are great, so that's not a problem. I was just wondering, because since I'm on the council, we received such a large number of these, we've got to be running out of room. Are there other parks or other places that, Oak Hill Park, put one, East Park, put one, where we can start moving these to other places as well and putting that up and saying, when they come for these requests, Brightbeck has got a lot of benches. Potentially have them in some of the other parks, might be nice as well.
Absolutely, Counselor. We have put some in some of the other parks already, and they are available for anybody that would like to have one. All of those places that you mentioned, Montcalm Park, Shapiro Park, I mean, we're very fortunate to have a lot of those, so places for all of those things. Yes, absolutely.
We're going to be able to see the concert there soon.
I think you got them all. I'll make a motion. Second.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
And we need a resolution?
Michael. We'll take care of it.
Yes.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Counselor Enright? Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
I'd like to call to order the Planning and Development Committee meeting. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Barlow?
Here.
Counselor Walker?
Here.
Counselor Todd?
I have a motion to approve the minutes of March 16th, 2015.
Make a motion.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Todd?
Anything to come before the committee under old business? Seeing none, moving on to new business under discussion. Item number 1. Mary Van Aus, Community Development Director, would like to discuss the next step for the project service agreement for engineering services, Water Quality Improvement Project 2013. Ms. Van Aus?
Clearly, I suppose older is coming off the table from the last. I'm sorry. This is actually, I think, old business since it's coming off the table from last meeting. And I believe the agreement was in the packet from the last meeting, but I have other copies for you if you'd like. At the last meeting, I was asked to find out if we could draw the funds earlier instead of at the completion of the project. And DEC has confirmed that, Karen Duff-Vinius, that we could begin drawdowns. As soon as we come to contract, we could draw down as much as 25%. And that will allow us to begin the bidding process at least, or get the specs and have GHD do the bidding process for the construction of the Route 48 water quality improvement project. I also have a copy of the project budget summary page, which shows the breakdown for that for you. So the grant funds that we have been awarded are the $330,000. 25% would come from the city, and in kind, we would allocate at $24,266. Then we have space, property, and utilities, $20,994, and we could probably do some of that through our DPW. Then the contract for GHD, we estimated at $69,052. Their bid, or I should say their proposal amount is where is it here? $66,900. So I think there's a little, we have a little wiggle room here for, if we started this project in 2015, bid it in 2015, and then completed it in 2016, we could budget our 25% portion of cash outlay for the 2016 budget. So that's, I spoke with our city chamberlain, Deborah Code, about this, and she seemed to think that that would be a way of getting this done sooner and demonstrating to DEC that we are invested in this green infrastructure modeling for our small cities. So I would recommend that if we could approve the contract agreement with GHD, then they can get to work. We can get our work plan to DEC that's more precise, and then we can go to contract. Thank you. Any questions?
Councilman Todd?
We've got the money available this year to do this, so that when we do the budget in May, it's not going to go past that 2%.
Mary's going to do the 25% draw first for this year.
That's what I mean, but it
Right.
won't affect us on the 2%.
Not for 2015, but 2016 I won't know because our budget's not in place. We haven't even started to put it together.
I know we got another reserve.
We do.
This will reimburse. Will this,
Our 25% is not reimbursable.
I know 25% is,
Right.
the rest of it is.
Right, well, it's a draw. It's not reimbursable. We're going to draw it first.
We have money in our reserves, so that we're not going to.
The 2% would only be affected with the 2016 budget, and we don't
We start in
know.
May.
We don't know that yet because we don't have any of the budget pieces together.
this consent decree with?
No. Nobody will help us with this.
How? How?
Mary can speak better than this, but what it does, to the best of my knowledge, by fixing some of the infrastructure problems we have, how we get rid of the rainwater, and stuff, that affects how much water goes into our sewer separation once it goes in that. That's not, understanding.
No, Mary can speak to it, but yeah.
If I may, through the chair.
These are green abatement possibilities that we can recognize. They're just the ways for us to deal with it, you know, in a green way rather than infrastructure.
One of the things that the consent decree required, that they asked for.
But it wasn't mandatory.
No, but if I may, Mary, let me take a shot at this too. We're required, like the devastation that went on in the 7th Ward last year with the sewer separation and all that, we're required to do that from where we started all the way up to the lake. There's 4 different areas eventually that we have to do. We've done one, and going to be doing the second one in 5th Ward, moving north. And our hope is that as long as we don't have any overflow into the lake, that this federal government essentially will modify our consent decree and not compel us to spend tens of millions further north. And by doing this, as a way to take the rainwater and keep it out of the system, it gives us greater leverage in having discussions with EPA and having the agency help to spend $10 million. The money will really start further north when we get into bedrock issues and whatnot. So that's why no, we're not required to do this, but it really helps demonstrate that we're making an effort here to, we've done everything we need to do, and if we do additional like this, we're going to demonstrate that we're going to keep the water, dirty water out of it.
We'll finish, then we'll go to Mary.
Just various reasons we have to consent decree from what we've been explaining to you is that all this extra water is going into sewer separation, creating overflows. Separation is getting dumped in the lake. Since the early 1970s, it's been mandated to fix it in inspector warning. All this extra water that was going into sewers had a place to go, but on the lake, the rest of the raw sewage is everything in it. We reduce that, and we won't have to do as much work. We're not sitting down in the third and first floor.
Chairman Barlow, and as Councilor Todd mentioned, putting these bioswales in on Route 48 between Ellen Street and Albany Street is going to address a lot of stormwater. Right now, it's like pure pavement in that area. It's going to dress it up a lot, too, because we're going to be planting lots of trees. It's going to green that entire gateway to the city, so it's going to improve it in terms of beautification. But more importantly, we're going to have the opportunity for our DPW to work with planting trees in these bioswales and seeing what these bioswales are. We may be able to then carry on this kind of green infrastructure in other parts of the city where there are combined sewers and basically take away the need to separate the sewers. This is what Onondaga County has done. And so they, when they made this proposal, I think it was in 2006, to the DEC and EPA, they were able to rewrite their entire consent decree and not have to build another wastewater treatment plant. So it's been proven that this green infrastructure can really help municipalities to ward off the high cost of gray infrastructure and separating sewers. And really, that's what we're after. There's more money available through other agencies as well, through the Environmental Facilities Corporation as well. So if we have one project underway, I think that gives us a little leg up for another project too.
Yeah, and I think some of the interesting things we're going to try to look at is the map on the back, where provide porous concrete siding along with a large portion of it. And that option is one that, you know, the real question is, can that kind of stuff survive in this area with the stone wall, with the, how does it, when you shovel it, and how well does it hold up? Because we can't, look at the value of some of the options that we may have. There's porous driveways, we're looking at putting permeable pavement in some of the aprons. That stuff really is weak, and then begin to look at the council, the city as a whole, how we may want to incorporate some of this technology into our code, so that we can help protect the water and ultimately the taxpayers, so that we're not a whole lot more taking care of water.
Counselor Walker.
I have a question for Ms. Vanaus. They are not going to touch the road, are they?
No.
Okay, 'cause we had a lot of problems down there. I was just wondering.
No, it's primarily for the tree lawns, creating wider tree lawns and putting in areas where the stormwater will be directed from the curb into these bioswales. And so instead of having the water go directly into the storm sewer, it's going to go into these bioswales and percolate slowly into the ground.
Ms. Code?
Thank you, Counselor. I think we should look into the availability of putting this into the enterprise fund. If it's strictly related to sewer work, it may qualify for the enterprise fund, and then it wouldn't affect your tax cap or your tax rate.
I'll just add before we go that I have the map here, and if you just look at the map, you can kind of see the proposed work and the proposed trees and swells and things like that, and I think it would make a nice impact, definitely a beautification project for one of our main thoroughfares in Route 48, which, and this is actually mainly between West Albany all the way up to West Niagara, and even beyond that up towards Murray. A lot of that is my ward, so it's thankful for a beautification project in my ward. I'll be supporting it, and if Councilor Walker and Todd are okay, we can at least let it through committee and let the full council vote next week. Motion made.
Second.
Counselor Barlow.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Todd. And we need a resolution.
Eric?
Yes, I'll do a resolution. Yes.
Item number 2. Mary Vanaus, Community Development Director, requests opportunity to take WQIP Route 48 DEC Grant Engineer Services contract with CNS off the table and discuss the options for funding this project for a 2015 construction. Budgeting for the city's cash match may be postponed to 2016 with an early 2016 completion date. Ms. Vanaus.
Again, as I said, this is really the same item. So what I will provide in the resolution is for the council to approve the contract with GHD to prepare the specs for this project. Okay.
Make a motion.
Counselor Barlow.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Todd. And we need another resolution. Same.
Item number 3, Councilor Michael Todd would like to discuss the sidewalk policy. Councilor.
Last year during the budget process, we had 3 individuals come to us with a copy of the charter that stated that we could no longer fix sidewalks for people. It was now the homeowner's responsibility, and we still haven't gotten a clear idea of what that policy is going to be going forward. So I get calls for sidewalks all the time, and I really just need to know, are we fixing sidewalks or are we not fixing sidewalks? What is our policy since it's in the charter that we can't fix them?
Sure.
Councilor Walker.
Last I knew, it was the discretion of the DPW commissioner, right?
Counselor, I don't think it's at my discretion, no. I think that there has to be a clear policy that I can, that I can follow. The charter does say that the city has discretion.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it right here.
Get a sidewalk fixed, not a sidewalk. I've got sidewalks that need to get fixed, and it's really difficult to go and tell people that you've got to fix these on your own.
Councilor Van Buren, you have the, good. Councilor Van Buren.
Counselor, not to kind of throw this off, but who are you directing the question to?
Council, trying to figure out what our policy is. Can we fix sidewalks? Can I send a work request into the commission? Can I send a work request into the commission?
You've already sent them.
Are they going to get fixed? I mean,
It will one way or another.
whose responsibility is it to fix the sidewalks? And the charter says the homeowner. Council's always done it.
I'd ask Councilor McLaughlin to either make a copy of that so we can all see that or see clearly what it is. I know what we can do is talk about what we used to do. And that, for what it's worth. And every year there'd be certain, you would receive requests from constituents to have sidewalk repairs done. You'd make that list. You'd hand it to the DPW, and then depending on time and severity, normally you get more requests in your ward than can possibly be done by the DPW. And it's a little hard to ignore a sidewalk that's lifted 3 inches and somebody's just got cracks in your sidewalk. So you have to prioritize a little bit, but it becomes a challenge because we just don't have the people resources or the monetary resources to do every sidewalk in the city. Then, add to that, we have the infamous Catherine Harris inventory of every sidewalk in the city, almost every sidewalk in the city of Oswego, that really creates this huge liability against the taxpayers. So if we've been informed that we have an issue on a sidewalk and we don't take care of it and somebody gets hurt, the city has a liability. That's the purpose of the Catherine Harris survey. So I think Councilor Todd's request to figure out what we're doing here with sidewalks is a very important one. We have a huge liability issue here, and I know other cities have been wrestling with this. Syracuse, as an example, has now made all of the homeowners responsible for their sidewalks.
That's kind of what the charter says for us. That's fine.
Yeah, that's what I want to read here, Michael.
Sue?
The question would be, if there's no definitive rule on who's responsible for the sidewalk, if somebody falls on...
If I may. Can I read this?
Who's responsible? The homeowner for taking medical bills or the city for taking medical bills?
May I read this? Let's read this. I hope everybody can hear what it says. It says the Department of Public Works shall be authorized to require the owners of property fronting on any street, highway, alley, or public place to construct, repair, and keep in order sidewalks. The department may prescribe the width and thickness of the new sidewalks as well as the material for sidewalk construction. If within a reasonable time determined by the Commissioner of Public Works, owners of property fail to install or repair sidewalks, the Department of Public Works may install or repair them at the cost, and the cost shall be assessed and collected in the same manner as other local assessments. The Department of Public Works is further authorized to require sidewalks to be kept in safe and passable condition, free from any obstructions, including snow and ice. The failure of owners of property to comply after appropriate notice shall subject them to local assessment charges for any work done by the Department of Public Works to keep sidewalks open, safe, and passable. The above are notwithstanding, the city may at its own expense implement a plan of sidewalk construction and renewal, and that's kind of what we've been doing that last time. That's been an add-on. So,
Councilor Todd?
I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but I guess we need guidance at this point on what the DPW commissioner is allowed to do for us. Is he authorized to fix them and then bill people? What do we do with these? Because we've got people calling us saying they want their sidewalks fixed. And do I tell them they've got to fix them? Do I tell them the DPW will fix them and we'll bill them? Or are we going to violate the charter and just do what we have to do? try, I gotta be able to tell people something.
Councilor Enright.
This is for legal.
The obvious answer is you got to follow what the charter says.
Well, my question is that if we do not fix a sidewalk, and now we've had cases in court where people have tripped on sidewalks and have sued the city, who's liable for the sidewalks? If our charter says that it's up to the homeowner to do it, are they not responsible?
Well, I think that's an argument, but I think the city, up to date, based on the policy, has sort of taken responsibility. And if they've taken responsibility, they haven't fulfilled their responsibility, doesn't mean that they aren't responsible, that they may not be responsible. I think that that portion of the discussion might better be taking place in executive session, quite frankly, because I certainly don't want to go on record on putting the city in a certain position that may create liability in the future. So I think this discussion about the policy, the decision should take place here, but the discussion should take place in executive session.
It's fine. We just have to have one before they start doing sidewalks. I've got to be able to.
Have it next week, or have to add it to the executive session tonight. But I'm not.
No, I understand. I got so many people need sidewalks that I got to be able to give them an answer one way or the other.
Well, I mean, really, I think the sidewalk policy is broader than just who fixes the sidewalk, because there are a lot of things that go on with the sidewalks. The homeowner, I mean, I think there are constitutional issues involved. How much can you make a homeowner do on property that he doesn't own? I mean, to some extent, it's like a forced servitude between having to maintain the sidewalk, having to shovel the sidewalks, but you can't use the sidewalks, you can't drink on the sidewalks, you can't park on the sidewalks. I mean, there are a lot of issues I think that should be addressed comprehensively to properly deal with the issue of sidewalks, not just who's going to fix them, because I think they all interplay.
Can we get that added on to executive session tonight?
Said he wasn't prepared for it tonight.
Next week.
So we'll add on discussion of sidewalk policy under executive session next week. Councilor Todd will bring that forward. A comment, Mr. Toy?
Yeah, this is for the DPW. Is there a standard specification for what a sidewalk thickness, rebar, and who can and cannot do it? Do you have that within your department? Because I think that has to be incorporated into it, or you're going to have people pouring 2 inches of concrete with no reinforcement. I'm serious, because if you put this onus on the homeowners, they're going to do it as cheap as they can. Because you're already taxing them pretty good. Now you're going to tell them they got to fix their own sidewalks.
Well, here's the problem. We had people come to us last year during the budget process, bring the charter with us, 3 individuals, and tell us they were going to sue us if we kept doing sidewalks. Because it violates our charter, because we're not supposed to be doing them.
So fix the charter. I mean, let's be real. I mean, is there a standard spec for what the sidewalks in this city have to
The
be?
simple answer is yes. The city has a standard.
Are those available to somebody that wants to fix their own sidewalks?
Anyone that gets an excavation permit has that information in the packet.
I think that the long term, you fix the charter so that it works for both the city and the homeowner.
Councilor?
I have an answer for you on that myself. I replaced 8 flags myself on my property. And there were specs, you had to do it I think, 4 inches in the width of the other sidewalk that was there. And then they come back and look at it, and they reimburse you your filing fee. There's a $500 fee you have to put up, and then they give it back to you after it is completed.
So you
Just
pay
so
the
you-
materials, and then the city reimburses you the $500 you put for the permit to put them down.
Correct. There's a filing fee, I think, I forget what that was, minimum $10, I think it was.
Pretty
But-
reasonable.
Yeah, but I paid for all the materials
Also,
and
in
labor
the
myself.
charter, you're responsible for 1/3 of the paving on your street, every resident.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the stuff that we're being threatened with lawsuits about, because they're supposed to bill everybody on the street for repaving.
bill us every 3 months with our taxes?
We want to be able to fix those and stuff, and I want to be able to do the sidewalks. I'm telling you, is there's 3 individuals telling us if we keep doing it, they're going to sue us.
It's 3 out of 18,000.
There's one to sue.
Any other business to come before this committee?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Todd?
Yes.
It's time I'd like to call the Administrative Services Committee to order. Please call the roll.
Counselor Van Buren?
Here.
Counselor Enright?
Here.
Counselor Capelitz?
Here.
Counselor McLaughlin? Here. Counselor Todd?
Here.
You get a motion to approve the March 16th minutes of the committee meeting?
Make a motion?
Second.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor Capelitz?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
Counselor Todd?
Yes.
Is there any old business to come before this committee? Seeing none, move on to new business. Item number 1, under authorization, Michael Smith, DPW Commissioner, received a request from the City of Oswego Youth Softball Program for girls ages 7 to 12 to use Crisafulli Field for their league games for 2015. The program will run Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. during the months of June through August, and will include the use of the scorekeepers, concession booth, and scoreboard. Attachment. Commissioner.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is the same program that used the field last year. I believe we were pretty successful there. They did a lot of the work on the field themselves with a little help from us here and there. And this, of course, is the field at next to Breakback Park. So it's a very worthwhile program, and we at the DPW have no issue with it.
Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I'd like to say that the group for the softball did a good job. And the softball did so much better than they thought. Team time to play ball. So I was very pleased with what they did.
Any other questions or comments?
Move it. Second.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor Capelitz?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
Counselor Todd?
Yes.
Item number 2, the Engineering Department requests approval of change order number 3 for the mechanical contract with Oswego Mechanical, Inc. for the West Side EF, MF, and pump station upgrade in the amount of $0 for a reduction in contract price for the money that was not required under the miscellaneous additional work, $859.25. There's an attachment. This is a simple change order. We're just lowering the price. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
Move it quick.
Second.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor Capelitz?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
Counselor Todd?
Yes.
Item number 3, under travel, Torrey DeCare Police Chief requests permission to send 3 police officers to a tactical training conference to be held on April 28th through the 30th, 2015, at Turning Stone Resort and Casino in Verona, New York. There's an attachment. The chief cannot make it tonight due to some illness. I believe Lieutenant is here to speak on his behalf. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, he's requesting send 3 officers to a special response team to try to prepare tactical training at the Turning Stone Resort Casino. They train there and bring those up to date back to the team during their in-service trainings.
Any questions or comments?
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor Capelitz?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
Counselor Todd?
Yes.
Item number 4, Torrey DeCare Police Chief requests permission to send 1 police officer to an instructor development course and firearms instructor course to be held April 20th through May 1st, 2015, and May 18th through the May 29th, 2015, at the Elmira Regional Public Safety Training Center in Elmira, New York. There's an attachment. Lieutenant?
This training's for an officer for the instructor development, for also in-service training for the police department, and firearms, which we held once a year as well.
Any questions or comments?
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor Capelitz?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
Counselor Todd?
Item number 5, Mike Smith, DPW Commissioner, requests permission to send 2 personnel to certified pool operator training April 9th through the 10th, 2015 in Syracuse, New York. And there's an attachment. Commissioner?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is mandated training from the Health Department, and I'd like to send a couple of the Recreation Department guys up there and get certified for this. I believe the certification is a 3-year cert, so.
Any questions or comments?
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Enright? Yes. Counselor Capelitz?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
Counselor Todd?
Yes.
And we need a resolution?
Item number 6, Mike Smith, DPW Commissioner, requests permission to send 2 personnel to the TCIA EHAP workshop in Ithaca, New York on Thursday, April 16th, 2015 from 8:30 to 5 p.m. And there's an attachment. Commissioner?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is a workshop about, to do with our tree care personnel for working around electrical wires, and just a seminar to pick up some more pointers and something they can bring back to the whole crew and pass that along.
Any questions or comments?
Second.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor Capelitz?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
Counselor Todd? And we need a resolution?
Yes.
Item number 7, under discussion, Susan Deary, City Assessor, requests discussion regarding a change request proposed for the addition of 12 additional municipal mobile users.
Yes, when we contracted with SCA back in July of last year, we signed on for 8 users. Since then, I believe we've acquired, 12 more between code enforcement officers and building safety inspectors from the fire department. They all need to be on Municity Mobile. It's really not acceptable to log in under one username because it's very user-defined. It signs your name to inspections. It brings up your appointments. There's a liability associated with it in case we ever had to audit something. So it's a $400 initial fee per user, and that includes setup training. I negotiated that down from 5, and the annual fee would be $200. So we're talking about a $4,800 initial fee. I do have some funds available in my 440 account, I believe, and we're going to be out there this spring and summer doing an extensive amount of inspections. It's like a conveyor belt right now with the building permits coming in, and we're getting more rental inspection requests. So we have the officers available, and they have to be able to use the product.
Any questions or comments? Mr. Capel?
Ms. Deary, are they named users or are they just
Yeah.
open slot? Oh, so when
No.
somebody leaves, you have to pay another $400?
Pardon me?
In other words, we're going to let 12 additional slots in there, and they'll be named users. If somebody happens to leave the position, can somebody just take that, or you have to pay an additional
Oh, sure.
$400?
Well, yeah, they'll just customize it to their name, yes. So they
Okay.
can use that slot. So after a year, if we find that, 6 of these inspectors are in fact, or, during the year, if they're not utilizing the tablets, then it will make an adjustment. They're very accommodating when it comes to that. So, yeah. And next year, we may not need 20. But right now, we were using them all. I went through the list with the chief today, and they're all doing inspections. They all need to have their own identities on the tablet.
Any other questions or comments?
Is that one that, was it $240 each year?
200.
Is that per user?
Correct.
Any other questions or comments?
Counselor Van Buren.
Yes.
Counselor Enright.
Yes.
Counselor Capelitz.
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin.
Yes.
Counselor Todd.
Before I move on to the executive session request, we have one add-on. Mayor Gillen requests approval for travel to NICOM's annual meeting, Gideon Putnam Hotel in Saratoga Springs, New York, May 3rd through May 5th, 2015. Mayor Gillen?
Yes, this is the NICOM's annual meeting. I go every year. I did not go to the winter legislative session, so this is a great opportunity to network and also find out some of the programs and issues that we're dealing with on a pretty high level. So it's about 2.5-day seminar.
Any questions or comments?
Second.
Counselor Van Buren.
Yes.
Counselor Enright.
Yes.
Counselor Capelitz.
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin.
Yes.
Counselor Todd. And we'll need a resolution.
Before I move on to the executive session request, are there any other business to come before this committee? Seeing none, we'll move on to, go on.
Good evening, gentlemen. Mr. Chairman, my fellow councilmen. I'm here to address two issues that seem to, for some odd reason, don't seem to be too important to a few individuals in this city. We have a situation that was blown way up in the newspaper last week over the Cahill building, and that the county is now taking it over due to foreclosure. Now, I talked with my councilman today and did some research myself. There is no agreement between the county and the city that would prevent the county from allowing the city to buy this building back for the back taxes. So, I would like to know today if that's going to happen, because losing a landmark like that and allow it to continue to sit there and deteriorate and dilapidate until it finally does come down would be a travesty. It's been there since I've been alive and long before I even was thought of. Long before a lot of you folks were here too. And it would be a travesty to lose the building. That's only the small part of the equation. Upon doing a little bit of research through public records in that, we have an individual within the administration that has cost this city about $1.5 million, give or take $100,000, due to ineptability to do her job. Now, with the full support of the committee, I have to ask this question to you, Mr. Mayor. What is your reluctance to terminate this woman from doing her job?
I have to say it's inappropriate to answer that question in a public forum like this.
I'd like to meet with you sometime this week, and you and I can sit down and discuss that, because I think it's appalling. As a chef in this city, if I serve raw chicken to somebody, how many times do you think that's going to happen before I'm not a chef anymore? We've essentially done the same thing, only with a lot more dollars. And you keep coming to the well and asking for more, but there's no accountability for the people that are costing us all this money. You know, I still don't understand a lot of it, but I'm going to get to the bottom of it, and I'll be here every week until we do get to the bottom of it, because it's that important to this city to find out why we can't hold people accountable for their jobs. You folks all have jobs outside of here. If you were that inept at your job, how long do you think you'd have your job? About that quick. There's too many people out there that want your job. Now, I know, Mr. Mayor, you have 3 resumes in your office for that position that are qualified to do the job. We'll talk in
I'd be
private.
more than happy to meet with you, Tom.
We'll
Just
talk in
make an
private
appointment,
about it.
absolutely. I can't discuss.
And we'll leave it right there for that one, okay? The second one I want to, and I was kind of hoping Corey would be here because it falls under his jurisdiction, parking. I work right across the street. I watch this lady come and go all day long. We close at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for a break before dinner service. I follow this woman on her route. Spots that are supposed to be marked are not marked. Walks right by them. Spots that are supposed to be marked, she's marking them. Sometimes, no mark, pulls the book out and writes a ticket. Now, my boss's mother's 78 years old. She works harder than most people I know. Okay? She was there 15 minutes one day, and the lady come down, pulled her car right in, straight in, wrote her a ticket. She hadn't been there 15 minutes. So I said, wait a minute, she just got here. Oh no, I saw that car here all day long. Doesn't matter. Situation happened last summer in the farmer's market where there was a car with Virginia tags at 3:45. Okay, it's supposed to be off the street by 3:30, correct? 3:45, there's a car with Virginia tags, there's another car, and there's someone that's in this building, their car. They weren't notified that the lady was writing tickets. She put 2 tickets on the Virginia car and called to have it towed. They put it on a hook and started taking it away. She put 2 tickets on the other one, but she never wrote the ticket for the city official's car. When confronted by an individual on the street, she called for police backup. The mere presence of impropriety or selective enforcement is ridiculous. Didn't write the ticket. Who cares what you do with that ticket? Once you come in this building, I don't care. But to the public, she's being selective about what's being done. And that's redundant. It really is stupid because her niece or one of her relatives owns a cutting board. I followed that lady. She has never marked that woman's tire. She parks in front of that place every single day, never marked her tire. Car's never moved until she leaves at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. She's there from 10 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and she never marks her tire. Somebody needs to tell me why I got to get a ticket, and she doesn't. Because she's related to the lady? We need to get a handle on some consistency with administration of everything here. It's just crazy. We step over $1 to pick up a dime. And I don't understand it. And I get passionate about it because it costs me money in the long run. It costs all of you guys money in the long run. But there has to be some accountability for government. How many times have you heard that over the last 5 years from anybody? There's no accountability in government. It can start right here for accountability. And I don't see why it can't. Thank you.
Good evening, thank you. This is coming on behalf of a handful of taxpayers who were not able to come here tonight, so they asked me to speak on their behalf. Along the same lines of parking, and this is for the various committees, if you don't mind to take this back, there's been some ticketing being done to business owners in the loading zones. They're actually physically unloading their vehicles to bring produce and materials and supplies into their businesses. It's a no parking unless loading zone, and they're still getting ticketed for that. So your taxpayers would like this to be revisited, perhaps maybe just a reinforcement of whoever's writing the tickets to just make sure you're writing properly these tickets for your business owners. Also, too, if the various committees can take a look at the parking hours in general during major high-traffic business hours, specifically the lunch hours, the 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock push. As Jim will tell you, he's a chef. It's really hard for Jim to come off the line when he's making you lunch, go move his car. Business owners are getting ticketed because they can't park anywhere else. Same with your patrons. You know, we're not really encouraging your business downtown and coming to our local businesses. We're out there ticketing if we're going to have an extended lunch. So that's with respect to the ticketing issues. The other odd thing that came to my attention, and this is, again, downtown businesses on both the west and east side, panhandlers. News to me too, right? Very aggressive. Not only do they exist, but they're getting quite aggressive. They're coming into local businesses. They're getting right up and close to personal spaces of customers, employees, and shop owners, and being very aggressive about money and just using the facilities. Certain customers had offered to buy lunch or a cup of coffee, and they're adamant about cash. And they will also chase customers out of shops and down the sidewalk. We have a young gentleman who's playing the guitar on the east side near Garofalo's between 7th and 10th, and he puts a bucket out for money. Your taxpayers would like to have this addressed. It doesn't look good for business, and so they're concerned about that. Lastly, again, for transparency purposes, the Midtown Plaza project, just to clarify some of the information that was discussed last month when I was before you, actually all the information, it came from the city of Oswego per a FOIL request that I did. So any comments about misinformation or misstatements, please understand that that information came from the actual city of Oswego's records and filings. I was only a mere conduit of that information. I did not make that stuff up. Second of all, I'm still a little bit concerned, again, in the issue of transparency. Is this or is this not low-income subsidized housing project? If it isn't, which I'm hearing now in the press that it isn't, I think somebody should call the state of New York and rescind your grant application, because the state of New York still shows it as a low-income subsidized housing project. Your grant application is still at play. So again, the spirit of transparency, if we're not doing low-income housing, please let the state of New York know so we're all on the same field. Thank you.
Questions or comments? I will forward the ticket issues to Chief DeCare to have him come back and speak to the next committee regarding these. So next week, the week after, I will request that the chief be here so we can have a discussion on that. There'll be a discussion on this committee. As far as the Coleman ones concerns go, what I can address, I will speak on my own behalf. I have met with Gay Williams. We spoke on Friday. She's speaking with Rich Mitchell about what's going on with the county attorney so that we can work this out. We have every intention of bringing that back here to remedy the tax situation and what's going on. This is quite a mess as far as who's involved, when notices came. I can give you a brief history from what I understand when all this took place. In 2010, when the foreclosure process from Coleman started, at that time the 2010-2011 school taxes were due. Those were paid by the city and added into the foreclosure process. Those were alleviated. In the years following, the foreclosure process continued and reached the point where the deed would come back to community development so that we could then proceed with selling the property and recoup those losses. During that time, there was some mix-up with the real property office of the county. They moved Coleman's from roll section 8, which is the exempt status section, to roll section 1, which is the taxable status, and the only tax that was levied was a county tax. The city and school did not take it. From there, 2013, notices started coming to the community development office, and those were, what I understand, not immediately transferred to other departments. So where the disconnect there happened, I can't answer. After that, several department heads did bring it up with us, and we referred that to the mayor and the city attorney's office. The ball was dropped at the city attorney's office level. I'll wait to comment on that and allow her to speak for herself about the issues that happened there. But bringing this up to present, we are now meeting with the county to discuss what it is that needs to be done about the situation, so we can get back on it. I will support, if it comes to it, paying the taxes so that this building can come back in the city hands and we can finish this. I'd love to pull this iron out of the fire. It's been far too long. As for your comments about accountability and transparency, specifically talking about community development in that position, I can't say enough that this council and past councilors have put on the minutes and requested direct reports from that office, asked that of the mayor for those offices, and we have not been given them. After a state audit was done from her department, I read a letter about the state's solution being better oversight by the council and mayor and asked what was going to happen after that, because we've been asking for it for 2 years prior and still haven't gotten it. I direct those questions to the mayor. Obviously, he's going to meet with you, and anything he wants to say now, I'll let him, but we have been advocating for better oversight of that office and a better direction on what's happening there, at least since I've been there. So I will say that that's been the case for us. So I know that we've been asking. Other than that, I'll allow anybody else to make a comment if they'd like. Seeing none, I'm going to move on to executive session. 2 requests. Gay Williams, City Attorney, requesting executive session regarding the proposed acquisition, sale, or lease of real property, or the proposed acquisition of securities, or sale or exchange of securities held by such public body, but only when publicity would substantially affect the value thereof, specifically regarding 375 Mitchell Street and 137 West Seneca Street. I also have a request from Councilor Enright to discuss the hiring, firing, appointment, termination, discipline of an employee for a clerk's position. Make a motion.
Counselor Van Buren.
Yes.
Counselor Enright.
Yes.
Counselor Capelitz. Yes. Counselor McLaughlin.
Yes.
Counselor Todd.
Yes.
Eric, you did very well.
Make a motion to adjourn. Brandon made it. Seconded by McLaughlin. Everybody said yes. Good night, everybody.